Hello, beautiful soul. Thank you for tuning in. Look at my hair is all crazy. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Kathleen, and this is Blooming Lotus Healing Art. And you're tuning in to a place where you find spiritual guidance as well as content to help you in your path of self-healing. So I have a bunch of stuff that I really want to talk about. So, of course, today we are a day after the new moon in Virgo, and I'm sure you guys have been feeling the energy. I've been feeling this really uplifting and exciting energy with the new energy coming through. So I hope that you're feeling like that. Let me know in the comments, how is the new moon energy treating you? If you're watching this in the replay, thank you so much for your time. And if you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And if you're watching this on Facebook and this is your first time, make sure you turn on those notification buttons so that way you know when I go live next. So anyway, here I am. And I have a bunch of stuff going on. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the fact that I have an awesome meetup tomorrow, Sacred Sisterhood of the Blooming Lotus. And I also created a group, so you can find it on here on Facebook. And tomorrow we're going to be doing something that I've drawn from different people and different inspiration that I've obtained from different people that do different events. Of course, over this time during COVID, I've been participating on a lot of things online. I've been learning a lot about cacao. I've been learning a lot about shamanic journeying and all of these different modalities that are just so great for us to help us kind of manage our energies and manage our daily lives and kind of make us feel a little bit better. So Tomorrow, I'm going to do like a combination of different things. So I'm going to be sharing, not a ceremony, but I'll be sharing some ceremonial cacao with my attendees. And I will be also conducting a guided meditation. If you've been here before, you know that I do the guided meditations very often. So you are familiar with that. But what I like about the fact that it's going to be in person is the fact that I'll be able to create a space that just feels very welcoming, and it's just so much different than maybe just kind of like being at home and removing yourself from your everyday routine and kind of putting yourself in a place where you are in a sacred space. I feel like that makes a huge difference, and the meditation, the guided meditation makes more sense for you, and then you feel it more. You feel the energy more. So I'll be doing that, and I will be also doing mini oracle readings, and I'll have a giveaway. So I do have a couple of spots available. So if you're still interested in going, if you're in the Tampa Bay area or adjacent areas, then make sure that you check out the event on this page. One thing that I wanted to also mention is that I do have a sale going on. If you are interested in booking a session with me, you can go to my book now button on Facebook or on my Instagram or everywhere. And I have an automatic 5% off during the month of September. So make sure that you check that out if you want a reading, or maybe you want a meditation session, a personalized one, where we can go over the things that you need and kind of go over what needs to be done, so that way you can get whatever you need. So that's more personalized. Also, if you want to support me, make sure that you go to my Teespring. I have all of the different links down on the description, so make sure that you check them out. I will be going over, of course, I have all these things like marked, but I'll be going over the Moonology book, which is, of course, my go-to book that I use to kind of navigate the moonology, or the astrology of the moon, right? So I really got introduced the first time to this type of work, working with the moon, really with this deck. So it was really this deck that I was searching for one day, because I really was connected with the moon. And a long time ago, I had a reading done by a psychic, and she really recommended that I start working with the moon. So I'm just kind of excited, because this is something that I'm sharing with you, because I feel like it's just such a great thing for us to kind of create, like I've said before, create some sort of ritual for ourselves, so that way we can bring ourselves back to introspection, just kind of like creating that space for us to figure out what is it that we need to work on. And what I like about doing the Moonology is the fact that we have this, it's got a structure. So every single moon will have a specific sign that's kind of like infusing the actual energy of that time. So then it kind of gives you like a focus, like a point of focus on what you need to do. So I really, really love that. And so anyway, so this particular one, so this is for the moon in Virgo. Just because the new moon was yesterday, doesn't mean that you can't still take advantage of the energy. I believe it's like 2 or 3 days after, you still are feeling that energy. So you can still jump on if you didn't get to do your ritual, or you didn't get to do any sort of just introspection, then you want to make sure that you take the time to do that today. So let me know in the comments, if you're watching right now or on the replay, if you have done anything with your new moon wishes. So one thing that I really love about Yasmin Boland is the fact that she kind of gives you this, like, she kind of tells you that the new moon is like the time when you make the wishes and you put them out in the universe. So to me, it's an exciting thing, because we tend to forget on an everyday, like we're kind of living our lives, we're working every day, we're doing our thing, and then we forget to really dream, and we forget to really connect with what is it that I really want, And then by doing so, we're kind of getting into a point where I know that happened to me, that sometimes we get to the point where we just feel that life doesn't have the pizzazz, right? Like we just don't feel like things are going the way that we would like to. But why is it? Because we're not taking the time to really dream, to really connect to what we really want to do. And a lot of times our dreams seem like they're just out there and outlandish and impossible. But, it doesn't cost anything to think about the things that we want and maybe put some action into them. So anyway, so this is the one thing that I'm going to talk about is, so the new moon in Virgo, the things that she mentions here, this is, you want to take inventory. That's the first thing that you want to do. So what the one thing that she says here is that you want to take inventory of the things that you have, of the things that you want to let go of, maybe not necessarily physical, but also or material, but also maybe even mental, the things that no longer serve you. You can kind of take that inventory and then let go of those things, and then really just give yourself permission to invite the things that you do want to invite into your life, right? The next thing that you want to do is, which I really love the fact that she talks about this, because Virgo is truly a sign of service. So she talks about being of service. Like how can you be of service? And when I say this really in so many ways. You can be of service in so many ways. You don't have to go and trade your clothes for robes and become the next monk. You don't have to do that, but you can do little things like, maybe make the coffee for your coworkers in the morning, or, little things like, okay, well, maybe I've been thinking about creating this opportunity for myself where I can be of service doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm good at this, so little things like that really resonate with your heart. It's just something that's going to elevate you in so many levels. I believe that it's just something so beautiful to do. So just remember that you don't have to do something insanely big to be of service, okay? So what are the things that in your heart you believe you could do, that you can start doing with with this energy of the new moon to be of service? So think about those things. Also being healthy. So really doing the introspection about, okay, how am I taking care of my body? How am I taking care of my mental health? How am I taking care of my relationships? Being healthy is, not only our bodies, but it's just like the whole element, holistic way of looking at it. Will give you a better perspective, and also a broader perspective. I don't want to say better, but really broader perspective to really integrate all of those healthy things that we want in our lives, right? Then the other thing that she talks about here is avoiding nitpicking. So the thing about Virgo is that Virgo is perfectionist, right? Perfectionism, oh my goodness. If you deal with perfectionism, let me know in the comments. I am one of those people. And I deal with it a lot, like especially when I'm working on something like graphic design, or maybe I'm painting something, or creating something, and I keep nitpicking on it and nitpicking on it. It's just insane. So one thing that I would say is, try to figure out, like, okay, try to like stop yourself in your tracks. Like, okay, where am I nitpicking myself? Where am I really? And even like looking at ourselves in a mirror, like maybe you're saying, oh, well, I really want to get like, some Botox, or, nothing wrong if you want to do anything to your body. But, think about, okay, is this something that you really need? Or are you really nitpicking your body? Or are you nitpicking, something that you're making, or even maybe nitpicking somebody else's way of doing things? I know I do that in the kitchen. Okay, let me know in the comments. In the kitchen, if you're a woman, you know that you don't want anybody in the kitchen with you, right? I know I'm like that. And then whenever my boyfriend is in the kitchen, I just drive him crazy, nitpicking everything he's doing. So I've learned that I have to walk away from it. I just let him do his thing in the kitchen, and I just walk away. Because just let him be. So anyway, the last thing that she talks about is getting organized. So organizing your home, or even, and I think this one ties up also to doing an inventory. So kind of like seeing what is it that you can do to let go of things that don't bring you joy anymore. Things that are not necessarily serving. They're just there. They're just like taking space in your home. And the Virgos that I know in my life, at least all of the Virgos that I've met, they really love having a clean house. And typically their homes have been really airy, and just a lot of space, and not a lot of clutter, and everything organized. So maybe this is the time. This is actually the perfect time for you to use that energy, that Virgo energy, to get yourself organized. So if you're feeling like you need to organize your stuff, then this is it. That's the deal. So anyway, so that's pretty much what she talks about. Of course, she goes into detail a lot more in the book, but if you want to get the book, you can go on the link below, and you'll have the link to the book and also the oracle cards. I love these oracle cards. Some people don't resonate with them. I resonated with them personally. Some people feel like they're too vague. I think that they're amazing because they really, I mean, even yesterday I did a pull for my Instagram account, and literally the new moon card came out. I mean, it's just like, they're so, to me, they're very direct. So if you are interested in getting any of these and using them for yourself, and maybe getting started in your own moon ceremonies or your own moon rituals, you can do so. This is a great time also to write down the things that you want on a journal. Okay. And this is not in the book, but this is, typically everybody says this, right? So writing the things that you want, writing the vision, like taking the time to really dream and visualize what you want, and writing it down on a piece of paper, or preferably on a journal, and just kind of put that intention in the universe, right? We are the co-creators of our life. We are the ones who take charge of our life. So, a lot of times we get into this a victim mentality where we're thinking, oh, this is happening to me. When you keep thinking that things are happening to you, then you're literally giving away your power to just situations, right? So we have to also have the courage to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, well, you know what? Maybe I did attract this into my life, right? And I'm not saying that everything is attracted into your life. I'm not saying that everything is your fault. I'm not, because I know that's also toxicity, but also taking responsibility for the things that we know, because you'll know within you the things that you are creating in your life, right? So, a lot of times it's a hard thing to look into the mirror and say, you know what, I really didn't, I did really mess up this, and I could have, done this a little better. Of course, don't take it to the extreme where you're going to beat yourself down, but also, take into account the things that you're doing, so that way you can figure out, okay, well, how can I break this pattern? You cannot break a pattern that you're not aware of. So it's really important to look at ourselves in the mirror and say that. So let me know in the comments. Are you familiar with the moon moonology, astrology of the moon? Are you using any sort of rituals for yourself, or is this something that you're interested in? Is this something that you would want to do? And again, every month it's going to be something different, which is really great. So you're going to be literally addressing certain parts or certain areas of your life that you would probably not be addressing if you didn't have like that structure. That's the thing that I like about astrology, is that it really gives you a structure of what are the things that you need to take care of. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you like what you see. And of course, if it's your first time watching this, make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you're watching from YouTube. And if you're watching from Facebook, make sure you turn on those notifications. And so let me know in the comments, are you wanting a reading? And let me know, so that way I can pull a card for you. And we will go ahead and get this ready. Make sure that you share this video. Share it with other people who might want a reading tonight. Share it. Sharing is caring, guys. Sharing is caring, wherever you can share, of course, right? So I'm going to pull a general card right now. I'm going to pull it from the Moonology, thing here. Oracle deck. From the thing, because that's how you say things. And I'm so excited for tomorrow, and I have so many things coming in store. I have I'm not gonna say that yet, because but it's already booked, and I have something coming up in the next couple of months in Tampa. So make sure that if you can't make it tomorrow to Port Charlotte because it's too far, or maybe you can make it, then keep in mind that in the next couple of months in Tampa, I will be having something, and maybe something even earlier in St. Pete. So we'll see. We'll have another Sacred Sisterhood meetup. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to pull a card for everybody. And again, let me know in the comments if you want a reading. Okay. Let's see. Oh, come on. A reading. Okay, there we go. Oh, wow, look at that. This is interesting because this is all new moon energy that is coming through. So the first one that came out for everybody that is watching this, if you're watching this in the replay, it also applies to you. If you're watching this right now, this applies to you. There's a reason why you're watching this right now. So the end of a tough cycle approaches. This is full moon in Capricorn, which is my sign. What is your sign? Let me know in the comments. What is your sign? And are you familiar with Moonology? Okay, and then other one that came through is a fiery climax approaches. And there's another full moon in Aries, which is kind of interesting. These are both cardinal signs and are all about taking action and really harnessing your energy to charge forward through the things that you want to do. So the end of a tough cycle approaches. So that, I mean, think about it, right? If you're going through a situation right now, and this is it, the new moon energy is all about starting over. This is what I love about following the moon cycles. The moon energy is all about starting over, giving yourself permission to say, okay, let me scratch this and let me start again. Right? So kind of like when you're starting to draw, you're starting to learn how to draw. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't like it how this looks. And then you kind of erase it and start over. Maybe you scratch it and tear up the page and then start over, giving yourself permission to do that. It's an important thing. I feel like sometimes we get so stuck in and so attached. That's the thing. We get attached to the things that we want and the things that we want to see in the world and in our world, in our internal world, in our external world. And then we end up in this situation where we don't give ourselves permission. We're like, no, I did this and I know I'm going to do this because I'm going to go till the end. And sometimes it's okay to pivot. Sometimes it's okay to say, you know what? I thought this was the way, but maybe really I should try this other way. This other way is calling me, and giving yourself the chance. I was listening to, this was months ago, I was listening to a podcast from Jay Shetty, which is called On Purpose. And if you haven't listened to him, you definitely want to make sure that you follow him on his podcast. He's like this massive podcaster and YouTube and Facebook, just personality. And he is all about sharing wisdom and knowledge with other people and really encouraging, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful person and human being and such a blessing in the world. And one of the things that he was talking about with one of his guests is he was talking to a guest who had a very successful business, he was talking to the guy from Netflix, the guy that founded Netflix. And he had, of course, Netflix is huge, successful. But the interesting thing is that they decided to pivot their idea. Their first idea was completely different than what we know now. And look at how huge that is. I mean, if they would have continued on their first idea and continued on that path, they would not have made it into creating Netflix. I mean, hello, right? So it's really giving yourself permission to say, okay, you know what? I have taken this path, and I think this path is not working for me. And I think I'm just gonna let it go. And really going within and finding that answer within you, and really just feeling that in your body, feeling that, that's the reason why I'm so passionate about sharing mindfulness and meditation with you guys, is because I believe that everybody in the world has the ability to find their inner voice, that inner psychic, those downloads that all the spiritual world talks about. You have that ability to do that. I'm going to repeat this. You have the ability to download everything from your ancestors, from your spirit guides, everything. The only thing that's keeping you from doing that and actually doing it and now is just taking the time to meditate and making your mind, not making your mind, because you can't make your mind go still, but at least understanding your mind and being friends with your mind and understanding it in a deeper level. So, really giving yourself permission to say, you know what, this is the end of my cycle. This is not working for me. And I'm going to give myself permission to move forward in a different direction, right? And not hold on to it for so long. Yes, there are going to be times that things are going to get tough, that you do have to show commitment to things. But, if you keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and you keep doing it, and there's no there's nothing coming through, then yeah, it's okay to reprieve. It's okay to take a moment and say, okay, let me assess the things that I want to do and move forward. Or maybe you don't have to change everything. Maybe there's one little thing that you need to tweak that you haven't even thought about because you haven't taken the time to really go within and take a moment to breathe and think about it. So the fiery climax approaches. This is a really beautiful thing because to me, with this card, what this card is telling me is that we're going to have a lot of, and this is it could go either way, right? Because we also have Mars, the Mars energy in Aries, which is really fiery right now. And if you haven't seen my previous video where I am sharing a guided meditation on that's really just connecting with that energy of Mars from a place of containment and not just going crazy, right? Because we don't want to go all angry and go all fire and just fire is a good thing. It could be good or it could be bad. It's just a matter of how we're using it, right? So how do we contain that fire and use it to our advantage? So so that meditation is there. If you want to check it out, it's on the YouTube. You can go back on the replay and also on my Facebook. So basically, the fiery, I think that's really connected to that Mars energy and, really being aware of that energy and using it to your advantage, using it to really power through those moments where you may not feel like things are not going to go well, right? Maybe you're kind of like in the middle of a project and maybe something is not going like you expected, but you're pivoting, right? You're doing like those mini pivots, blah, 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 right? Those mini pivots. And then you're kind of like, okay, let me fire through this, right? Let me feel this energy and figure out a way to, to move through this without just stopping, right? Without just stopping and just letting it go. So that you have two options, right? You have the option of saying, okay, this is really not working out. And you're going to know this within you. I can't tell you that, right? You're going to know this within you. Let me just let this go, or let me just, find a little bit of that tweaking that I have to do to go ahead and continue and use this energy to move forward. So I know I've been feeling it, and let me know in the comments if you've been feeling it. I know I've been feeling it. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the energy that I've been receiving from the universe. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I get to be here and share with you. I'm grateful that I get to share my energy with you, to be of service to you, to be of service of everybody that's here online and offline tomorrow and forever and ever and ever until I drop dead. So yeah, that's it. That's my speech. So let me know in the comments if you like what we talked about today, if there's anything that you would like to see, if you are familiar with with the moon energy and, how are you connecting to it? How are you feeling the moon energy right now? And how are you feeling Mars retrograde, right? What are you doing to help yourself move through these energies? And, remember, the reason why I love talking about astrology is because there's really so much that we are affected by. Energetically, we are energy fields. And, for us to sit here and say that we're not, science has already proven that we are energy fields. So there's no argument around that anymore. So, understanding that we are energy, that we are receiving, that we are giving energy, and how are we, managing our own energy so that way we can use it to our advantage. So I am going to I'm going to land the plane here. I am so grateful for you for being here, for being in this space with me. And I really hope that, you guys find value on what I'm bringing here. If you're watching this for the first time and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications in Facebook, and let me know in the comments, how are you dealing with this energy, this crazy energy? Thank you so much, and namaste. Bye, guys.